Hey everyone, I'm Becky,
I'm Sarah.
and we're doing Bickering Book Reviews. Today we're talking about I'm the Girl by Courtney Summers, which I got the ebook off of Edelweiss.
I got the ebook and the e-audio off of NetGalley.
I'm not auto approved by Wednesday Books for some reason on NetGalley, which is weird because
I
everything
think
else,
I had to request it. Yeah.
everything else Macmillan I just have. That's besides the point. So they call this a spiritual sequel to Sadie, Courtney Summers' book that I will link to the review, which we thought was amazing. So this book is about Georgia. She's 16 years old. She's very beautiful. She lives in a small town, and in the town there is this like luxury resort where the rich and famous come, they say, to relax. And her mom had worked there, and right before she died, there was something that happened. Her mom has been accused of they kind of say everything from did she steal from them? Did she blackmail them? But her mom was kind of on the outs from that. And I almost said Sadie. And Georgia is living with her brother, and they're just trying to barely get by. At the beginning of the book, something happens, and Georgia steals a bunch of money from her brother, and she needs to get a job to try to pay him back. And so she gets a job at this resort. And once there, she connects with the resort's owner, Matthew, and his wife, Cleo. And she gets pulled into this world. And I really don't want to give away details, but it basically shows what people are willing to do to beautiful girls. Um, yes. And I know there's a part where she meets somebody who owns a studio and he'd made the movie Sadie, which I'm assuming is supposed to be the movie based off the podcast. But that's the only way I really felt like it connected to Sadie.
Yeah. Yeah. So obviously the same world. I don't know about this. I definitely didn't like it as much as I like Sadie. Um, I think the problem was I wasn't a fan of Georgia. I think I wanted to hear the story from is her name Nora?
Yeah.
I wanted to hear it from Nora's perspective. I was far more interested in her. But had the author done that, it would have definitely been a lot more like Sadie
Right.
and its own
Well,
kind of unique novel.
well, Sadie was like on top of Sadie was a lot of things, but to me, the driving force of Sadie was a mystery. And to me, this book didn't do it. I mean, I remember as I was reading it, I'm like, well, it's making me uncomfortable, which means that it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. And I think it really does show how easily a girl can be groomed, particularly somebody who feels alone, how easily, because, you read these cases and you're like, well, how did this happen? And I think Courtney Summers did a really good job of showing you how easy it is for somebody to get into somebody's head and make them feel appreciated and slowly start to take advantage. Um, but no, I never connected all the way with Georgia. It felt very detached, and you should connect with Georgia. Like the things happening to Georgia, you should feel for her. But I don't. I thought the older brother was kind of a more interesting character.
I just I didn't connect to Georgia. Like well, and I guess I mean you I don't necessarily know if I agree with the fact that they showed how easily you can be groomed because it's just to me it was just like you're just so vapid and stupid it felt like she just felt dumb.
I will say I did have that thought more than once. I was like, how is she keep falling for all of this? But then again, I've never been in that situation where I didn't have anybody supporting me. So maybe it is that easy
There
to do that.
yeah, maybe. I don't know, but like even when you're like full face looking at what they're saying and you're still just no.
Well, and
And like
honestly,
it wasn't written in the way that you're like you know that she's intentionally distancing herself from what's going on. It just felt like she was too naive or dumb to realize that what was happening was happening.
see, and I thought he was manipulating her, and she was so afraid of losing what she had that she was willing to do what they wanted.
I guess I'm more talking about the scene with the lady in the house with the umbrellas.
Oh, yeah.
You
But I
know,
mean, yeah.
like you're looking right at it and you're still like obviously she's consciously putting up a wall, but like it didn't read that way. It read like her just being dumb.
I don't know. My my other thing is like they talk about this opulent world and what it wasn't really described like a very opulent world. It wasn't like, it wasn't like she crossed into like Shangri-La or something. It was just
Well, and maybe that's what it was. There wasn't enough description surrounding the plot as far as, because I think that was also my issue with not not that I needed romance, but I needed more description as far as there are certain things that are romance, like romance that happens, and there are certain things that are not romance that also happen, but are in the same kind of sexual vein.
physicality.
But like, thank you, physicality, that's a good word for it. And the descriptions weren't distinct enough from each other to really kind of flesh out the character. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to give too much away, but
Like her emotional responses to these physicalities weren't distinct enough to be like one
right,
was a good touch, one was a bad touch.
right. Or like even how she responded to it, whether a good touch, bad touch, like that kind of stuff, but like how she responded to it, whether she, enjoyed it, whether she didn't
Right.
enjoy it, like, and it's not about enjoyment, it's just about like her as a character,
Well,
like
but
how she reacts to it.
there are times where she says she feels power from things that she gets from her beauty.
Yeah. I don't know. I just like it was well I was gonna say it's well written. I like the author's style.
Yes.
I like the author's style, but I think it needed more description. It needed more description and something I don't even know what needed to be changed with Georgia because she just wasn't working for me.
Well, and it's because I'm sitting here thinking because I like Courtney Summers books. I've liked them way before Sadie. And I always think back, and I think the book was called Some Girls Are, and it's about a girl who her friends turn on her and they're just vicious. And I remember reading it at the time thinking, this is horrifying, but it's probably realistic. And I feel like that's something she does really well is she makes you uncomfortable with situations that you should be uncomfortable in. Like her writing creates that emotion. Because like sometimes you'll read a book and you're like, oh, it made me laugh or it made you like her books make me uncomfortable, but I
Yeah,
feel like that's the point.
right,
Um, and that was the same thing with Sadie. Like Sadie like makes your skin crawl, but I think that's the point.
right.
So I don't know where I was going with that. But basically like yes, like I feel like it feels like a Courtney Summers book.
It does, but I feel like it doesn't have the impact or the power that like Sadie does.
Well, and I wonder if one of the reasons that Sadie had such an impact and power was because that story was told through so many perspectives that you were able to see how, like, this one crime impacted dozens of people and how one bad person can destroy so many people.
Well, I don't know, because like her whole point of the book was like, do you like this is what happens? Do you accept it? And I feel like I still don't have a firm understanding of what I accept and what I don't accept.
So, well, and the ending was very vague. The ending of Sadie was super vague.
Well, and I guess like the twist was pretty obvious. Like I knew that was coming from the get go.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But then I'm like, was that a twist or were you supposed to see that coming and you just, Georgia didn't?
Right, but then that makes Georgia look dumb
Yeah,
again.
and then I'm like, is she dumb or is she just young? Because that's another question. I don't know. Do we have anything else or should we just rate it?
Oh, we probably should just read it.
So our rating system starts at the top with 5 unicorns, goes down to 2 unicorns. If we don't like it, it's a horse.
I don't know where I'm at because I like the author's style. I don't regret having read this book. It just wasn't, I don't know, it wasn't as impactful as I had hoped.
Yeah.
And so I'm fluctuating between a 2 or a 3 and I really don't know where I'm at. Where are you?
I think I'm at a 3. I've noticed with her books, either I absolutely, and I don't even know if love them is the right word. Either it's something that like just like lingers in my mind forever, like Sadie, or was it Cracked Up to Be where the girl's best friend got killed? Like those books were like amazing and stick with me forever. Or it's one that I'm like, okay, well, I can see the merit and I can see like I could give this to somebody to read. And that to me, that's what this one is. Like I see what I see the merit. I see like, I think what she was trying to say, but it wasn't one that I'm going to be like, this is amazing.
I don't know, maybe I'm at a two because like I feel like it made me uncomfortable, but it didn't do its job of telling me why and like helping me figure out why and making me kind of question the world around me. I think I'm gonna go with a two.
And so that is where we are on I'm the Girl, and we'll see you around.
Bye.
Bye.